Hey, this is Sayan and Pinaki. Welcome to our channel Toto Company Ghora Fera Jana. When we are in front of Shyambazar metro station, Kolkata, the name of a person suddenly came to mind, who is as much or more Indian than a foreigner. Come on, let's go with us to the historic journey. Request you, please watch the entire video without skipping. Margaret Elezabeth Noble was born on 28 October 1867 in the town of Dungannon in County Tyrone, Ireland, to Mary Isabella and Samuel Richmond Noble. She was named for her paternal grandmother. The Nobles were of Scottish descent, settled in Ireland for about 5 centuries. Her father, who was a pastor, taught that service to mankind is the true service to God. The Nobles had 6 children, of whom only Margaret, the eldest, May, and Richmond survived. Margaret's father died in 1877 when she was 10 years old. Margaret, with her mother and 2 siblings, returned to her maternal grandfather Hamilton's home in Ireland. Margaret's mother Mary took up a kindergarten course in London and became a teacher. Later, Mary helped her mother to run a guest house near Belfast. Hamilton was one of the first ranking leaders of the Irish nationalist movement. Besides her father's religious temperament, Margaret imbibed the spirit of freedom and love for her country through her grandfather Hamilton. Margaret was educated at Halifax College. At the age of 17 in 1884, she first started a career in teaching at a school in Keswick. In 1886, she went to Rugby to teach in an orphanage. A year later, she took up a post at the coal mining area of Wrexham in North Wales. Here she revived her spirit of service and love for the poor, which she had inherited from her father. At Wrexham, Margaret became engaged to be married to a Wales youth, who died soon after the engagement. Here is a turning point of her life. In November 1895, she met SWAMI VIVEKANANDA for the first time, who had come from America to visit London and stayed there for 3 months. On a cold afternoon, SWAMI VIVEKANANDA was explaining Vedanta philosophy in the drawing room of an aristocrat family in London, where Margaret was also invited. Margaret didn't know this evening would change her life completely. Vivekananda's principles and teachings influenced her, and this brought about a visible change in her. Responding to SWAMI VIVEKANANDA's call, Margaret travelled to India, leaving behind her friends and family, including her mother. Mombasa, the ship bringing Margaret to India, reached Calcutta on 28 January 1898. On 22 February, Margaret visited Dakshineshwar Temple, the place where Ramakrishna did his sadhana. SWAMI VIVEKANANDA devoted the initial few days in teaching her about India and its people and helping her develop the love for the people. He was broadening her character. He explained India's history, philosophy, literature, the life of the common mass, social traditions, and also the lives of great personalities, both ancient and modern, to her. On 11 March 1898, SWAMI VIVEKANANDA organized a public meeting at Star Theatre to introduce Margaret to the people of Calcutta. On 25 March 1898, at the Sayan Mukherjee Garden, SWAMI VIVEKANANDA formally initiated Margaret in the vow of Brahmacharya and gave her the name of Nivedita, the dedicated one. In the meantime, on 17 March 1898, Margaret met Sarada Devi, wife and spiritual consort of Ramakrishna. Before meeting with Sarada Devi, SWAMI VIVEKANANDA told Margaret, "If Sarada Devi will accept you, then whole India will accept you." Sarada Devi, who surpassing all language and cultural barriers, embraced her as Khoki, or little girl in Bengali. It was St. Patrick's Day, a very holy and special day in Margaret's life, and Nivedita recounted it as her day of days. On 13 November 1898, on the day of Kali Puja at 16 Boshpara Lane in the Bagbazar area of North Calcutta. She started the school. The school was inaugurated by Sarada Devi in the presence of SWAMI VIVEKANANDA and some of the other disciples of Ramakrishna. Sarada Devi blessed and prayed for the school. Nivedita went from home to home in educating girls, many of whom were in pitiable condition owing to the socio-economic condition of early 20th century India. In many cases, she encountered refusal from the male members of the girl's family. Nivedita had widows and adult women among her students. She taught sewing, elementary rules of hygiene, nursing, etc., apart from regular courses. Collecting money for the school was not an easy task. She had to earn money from her writings and giving lectures. And later, she spent all to meet the expenses to the school. During the outbreak of a plague epidemic in Calcutta in 1899, Nivedita nursed and took care of the patients, cleaned rubbish from the area, and inspired and motivated many youths to render voluntary service. She inserted appeals for help in the English newspapers and requested for financial support for her plague relief activities. She was a friend to many intellectuals and artists in the Bengali community, including Rabindranath Tagore, Jagadish Chandra Bose, Abala Bose, and Abanindranath Tagore. Later, she took up the cause of Indian independence. Sri Aurobindo was one of her friends as well. Swami Vivekananda died at 9:10 p.m. on 4th July 1902. On the night, Nivedita dreamed Sri Ramakrishna was leaving his body a second time. Swami Sharadananda from Belur Math sent a monk with a letter to Sister Nivedita and conveying the message of Vivekananda's death. Instantly, everything around Nivedita's eyes became blank. She immediately rushed to the Math and reached the place around 7 a.m. and entered the room of Vivekananda. There she found Swamiji's body was laid on the floor. She sat near Vivekananda's head and fanned his body with a hand fan until his body was taken down at 2 p.m. to the porch leading to the courtyard. In the afternoon of 5th July, Swami Vivekananda's body was taken for cremation. In her letter to Joseph MacLeod on 14 September 1902, Nivedita wrote,
"But your real message came at the burning pier itself. At 6 o'clock, as if I were twitched by the sleeve, I looked down, and there, safe out of all that burning and blackness, there blew to my feet and very 2 or 3 inches I had desired out of the border of the cloth. I took it as a letter from him to you, from beyond the grave."
After Vivekananda's death, being actually aware of the inconvenience of the newly formed Ramakrishna Mission on account of her political activities, she publicly dissociated herself from it. However, until her last days, she had a very cordial relationship with the brother disciples of Swami Vivekananda like Swami Brahmananda, Baburam Maharaj and Swami Sharadananda, who helped her in her charitable and educational activities in every possible way. Leaving behind all, Sister Nivedita passed away on 13th October 1911 at the age of 43 at Roy Villa, Darjeeling. Today, her memorial is located below the railway station on the way to the Victoria Falls of Darjeeling, with these words inscribed in her epitaph: "Here lies Sister Nivedita, who gave her all to India." Swami Vivekananda wrote a poem to Sister Nivedita. Last 2 lines are,
"Be thou to Indians' future son, the mistress, servant, friend in one."
Out of many of her writings, Kali the Mother, The Master as I Saw Him, The Wave of Indian Life, etc., her contribution towards Indian freedom movement and natural science is unforgettable. If you liked our video, then please share and subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Very soon we will come with vlogs in English and Bengali as well. Thank you and keep well.